Hello, my friend. I want to ask you a very honest question, and I want you to listen not with your intellect, but with your heart. How much of your life are you spending trying to solve problems that don't actually exist? We've been conditioned to believe that life is a series of obstacles to be overcome, that we are works in progress that need constant fixing, and that if we just work hard enough, make enough money, or find the right person, we will finally be okay. But look at the cost. Look at the exhaustion. Look at the heat you are carrying in your body. Most people are living in a state of mental indigestion. You are holding on to a narrative of your past that you haven't fully chewed on or swallowed, and it's creating a systemic friction in your reality. You think you're stressed because of your job or your bank account or your relationship. I'm here to tell you, there is no such thing as a stressful situation. There is only the stress you bring to it. The audacity of should. We have this incredible audacity as human beings. We look at the universe, this magnificent, unfolding mystery, and we say, it shouldn't be this way. You look at your childhood, your parents' divorce, the job you lost, or the way someone treated you yesterday, and your mind says, that was wrong. It should have been different. Think about the physics of that statement. To say something should have been different is to argue with what is. It is exactly the same as me pointing at the sun and screaming that it's in the wrong part of the sky. It's nonsensical. It's comical. And yet, we do it with every cell of our being. What happened, happened. And it couldn't have happened any other way, because it didn't. The moment you find an intimate relationship with reality, the moment you realize that life is always for you and never against you, the friction disappears. You stop trying to solve problems and you start dissolving them. Compensation versus realization. Many of you watching this are high achievers. You've built businesses, you've hit the gym, you've checked all the boxes. But if you're honest, that success is often just a behavioral adaptation. You're a big guy who became a fighter because deep down there's a 7-year-old boy who felt unsafe. You're a CEO who can't stop working because there's a teenager inside who felt inadequate. You aren't being driven by passion. You are being driven by a fear of being wrong. You've built a brilliant persona to compensate for a perceived deficit. But a persona is a prison. It's a heavy weight you have to carry every single day. You aren't performing at your peak. You're performing despite the emergency brake you have pulled up in your subconscious. The power of I don't know. We are terrified of uncertainty. We spend our lives trying to find certainty in a world that is fundamentally, by its very nature, the unknown. I remember a moment in my own life, sitting in a tiny room, paralyzed by questions about a relationship that had ended. Will I ever see her again? Will I be okay? And then the epiphany hit me. The answer to every one of those questions was 3 simple words. I don't know. And for the first time, I was at peace with not knowing. When you surrender to the I don't know, you drop the shield, you stop trying to manipulate the future to feel safe, and you finally become available to the present. That is where the magic happens. That is where the law of entanglement kicks in. When your internal frequency shifts from fear of loss to absolute presence, The world outside you has no choice but to mirror that shift. Dissolving the root. I once worked with a professional golfer who had the yips. He couldn't make a 3-foot putt to save his life. He thought he had a golf problem. He didn't. He had a self-judgment problem. He was using the golf ball as a metric for his worth as a human being. I worked with a man who couldn't stop smoking. He thought he had a nicotine problem. He didn't. He was using the cigarette as an antidote to a deep, visceral feeling of worthlessness. Do you see? The world treats the symptoms. I look for the conversational DNA. I look for the pre-installed limitation that says I am not enough or I am unsafe, and we dismantle it. The invitation to freedom. You have lived long enough under the weight of your own judgment. You have spent enough years trying to fix a version of yourself that was never actually broken. If you feel a resonance with what I'm saying, if you feel a tingling or a softness in your heart right now, it's because your soul recognizes the truth. You are ready to move from the world of survival into the world of awakening. This is why the Mastermind 9 was created. It is not another self-help course. It is a systematic process designed to uncover and dissolve the subconscious patterns that are quietly running and ruining your life. Whether you're a coach who wants to help others at a deeper level, a parent who wants to stop passing your trauma to your children, or simply a human being who is tired of the heat, this is the space for you. We provide the theoretical education, the practical integration, and an extraordinary community to support you as you peel back the layers of who you thought you had to be. You will experience a deep, embodied freedom that remains unshakable regardless of what life throws at you. You won't just learn about freedom, you will become the essence of it. Click the link below to join Mastermind 9. Let's stop the fixing. Let's start the dissolving. The final frontier. To the person watching this who feels they've been on guard for 20 years, the one who's been through the violence, the stabbings, the heartbreak, I want you to hear this. The ego doesn't want to be healed. It wants to be held. You don't need to be a warrior anymore. You don't need to protect yourself from a history that is already over. What happened to you wasn't wrong. It was the precisely designed curriculum required for you to become the person you are today. It was a blessing in a very fierce disguise. Turn your judgment into gratitude. Drop the friction. And for the first time in your life, just breathe. You're okay. You've always been okay. I'll see you in the Mastermind.